So now that I'm in my code view, I want to add a reference to the Ecocoma web service. In order to do that, I'm going to go to the Ecocoma Marketing Web Services page at ecocoma.com, and it's marketing_webservice.aspx. It's also, you can find it under their web services link. And I'm going to I'm going to copy the link location for the Ecocoma web service WIDSL for the Google web service. They also have a Yahoo web service and a live web service. But I'm going to, in this example, connect to the Google one. I'm going to go here and I'm going to go back to website and I'm going to add a web reference. I'm going to paste that URL I just copied here and I'm going to click go. And it says that there's one service found. It's called the Google service. And it's got a whole bunch of methods. And I'm going to change the name of this service to Google. And then I would name the Yahoo one Yahoo in the MSN one, either MSN or Live. And that will then create something in my documents. Over here I have my web references. I've got a reference to the Google service. So now I can create an object that will allow me to connect to that Google service. So I'm going to go Google dot, and I have to type Google correctly, dot, and I'm going to connect to the Google_service, which is the name of the service. I'm going to name my object here, it'll call it Go for Google object, and then I'm going to say it's a new Google_service, and I pass that no arguments. So now that really just connects me to the service. And then I need to run a variety of methods. So if I were going to run, for instance, on the Google service, I could run let's go with let's got a whole bunch of them. So I'm going to get related count, and which related count is the number of related pages that are similar to my pages. So I'll go like this. Now if you click that, you can see that the Google get related count method returns a Google count, and it also requires you to pass in a string key, a domain ID, and a URL. So I'm actually going to, before I create the method, I'm going to make the variable I'm going to store the result from in, and it's going to be, let's go Google, I'll do a space, Google dot Google, it's going to return, it says it returns a Google count, so I'll call this a GC, the count, or actually it's a related count, so I'll call it a RC, or RELC, for related count, equals Google.get related count, and I have to remember what I have to pass it. It says it's asking for a key. Turns out that the Ecocoma site has a sample key that you can use at the bottom of their page. This key will change weekly, so if it changes while you're testing your code, you'll have to go back in and get a new key and just paste it where the key goes. It's a string, so you put it in quotes. It also said that you should leave the domain ID if you were testing this. And I'm going to get the URL, and you'll recall I had a text box on my page that had the URL in it. I named that text box URL. In order to get the data from a text box, you use the dot and you get the value. And so it gets the value out of the text box. So now this is going to return something called a Google count, RELC, and I actually want to display that count to the screen. So I'm going to go and I'm going to just do a response.write, and I'm going to do RELC. Now RELC is not a number, it's something called a Google count, and if I do a dot, you can see the RELC, the Google count, has both the count and the URL in it. So actually what I'll probably do is I'll do the URL, and then I will add that to a colon, and I'm going to add RELC dot count, so I can actually display, and I'm going to actually add a line break to the end, so it'll display the URL, And I think I'll do related page count, so I know what that data is. Now I'm going to try calling another method, one that doesn't return a number but that returns strings. And that's going to be, it'll be Google. I'm going to use the Go object. You use this object, the Google service object, to call the different methods. So I got related count last time. I'm going to get keyword suggest. I'm going to get suggestions of alternate keywords for a keyword that you might enter. Now that method returns a Google keyword suggest object. You can see Google keyword suggest, and it takes a string, a domain, and a keyword. So I'm going to do, again, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to go Google dot keyword suggest, and I'll call that GKWS, Google keyword suggest, equals the Google keyword suggest, and I'm going to pass it the same key and domain, blank domain, that I passed the previous method. But instead of passing it the URL value, I want to pass it the keyword value. I can't spell, but so that was, I called that key, and I'm going to call it value. Okay, so now I've got this Google keyword suggest object. Now you don't know what that is, so I want to write something out. Response dot write, and I want to see what I can get out of that Google keyword suggest object. So I'll go Google keyword suggest dot, and it returns, let's see what it returns. It returns a result equals hashcode type result and toString. So result looks like what we're looking for, and it looks like the result is a string. If you can see, Google keyword suggest dot result is a string, so that's something that I know how to print out. So I'm going to do that, and I'll put a semicolon after it, and I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to put in the words suggested keywords, colon space, so that'll appear before that result. And I'm going to actually, after it, I'm going to put a line break so it separates it from the form. So I can go like this. Now, I think that's all I need to do. I've linked to the service. I'm getting a count and displaying the count, and I'm getting keywords and I'm displaying the keywords. So I'm going to build the page and see how it goes. And it succeeded. So it says build one succeeded. So now I'm going to go here and I'm going to browse my page. View in the browser. And there we go. I've got I can enter a URL and a keyword. So let's go http://www. I'm going to go ecocoma.com, which is the Ecocoma website. And I'm going to put in a keyword marketing. I'm going to see what it says about that site and the marketing keyword. It runs. It says that there's 30 related page count, and it has the suggested keywords of marketing plan, marketing jobs, marketing strategies, and then it also shows me then I could enter another URL and another keyword, and it would replace the page. So that's really all there is to connecting to the Ecocoma web service. You can use the other services to get information from something other than Google, and you can use the other methods to get other data about your websites.